Welcome students. Today we will solve fifth numerical on moment of inertia. So let us start the lecture. So we are given one composite area and we have to find its polar moment of inertia about O. So polar moment of inertia means the axis at O is perpendicular to this plane. So moment of inertia of this composite area about that axis which is perpendicular to the plane of this area will be called as polar moment of inertia. And over here we have to understand one very important point, that polar moment of inertia is always equal to the sum of the area moment of inertia of the composite area about the other two perpendicular axes starting from the same point. And those two perpendicular axes are within the plane of the composite area. And this particular theorem is called as theorem of perpendicular axis. Okay, it means in order to solve this problem, what we have to do, we have to first find area moment of inertia of this composite area about x-axis and y-axis starting from the same axis. And then we will add area moment of inertia about these two axes for that composite area, and we will get the polar moment of inertia of this composite area about the axis at O, which is perpendicular to the plane of this composite area. Okay, so what is the first step over here? First step is that we have to divide this composite area into regular areas. So you can see that we can divide this composite area into three regular areas. One rectangular area, second rectangular area, and third is a quarter circle. So it means we have to find area moment of inertia of these three areas about x-axis first, and when we will add those three values we will get area moment of inertia about that main axis for the complete composite area. Fine, so equation is Ix. What is Ix? Ix is the area moment of inertia of the complete composite area about the x-axis. So that will be equal to Ix1 plus Ix2 plus Ix3. Where Ix1 is the area moment of inertia of area 1 about x-axis. Ix2 is the area moment of inertia of area 2 about x-axis. And Ix3 is area moment of inertia of area 3 about x-axis. So it means first of all we have to find Ix1. So let us see how we can find Ix1. So it is related to area 1. So it means what is the first step? First step is we should find its area. And area 1 is a rectangular area. It means its area A1 will be equal to length into width. That is 50 into 100. So that will be equal to 5000 mm square. Now what is the next step? Next step is we should locate its centroid. Now we know for a rectangular area, centroid lies at L by 2 and B by 2, means exactly in the center. So it means this distance is 25 and this distance is 50. Now what is the next step? Next step is from that centroid, we should draw its centroidal axis and we have to keep that axis parallel to the main axis, that is x-axis in this case. Now what is the next step? Next step is find the distance between those two axes, which is called as h, and as it is related to area 1, so we'll call that as h1. Now in this case, what will be that distance? Let us find. Now you can see x-axis given over here, so we can assume that this is base. So from that base we are given 100 mm as the width of this rectangle. So we know that centroid lies at half of that width. It means distance between these two axes will be 50 millimeters. So in this case h1 is equal to 50 mm. Now what is the next step? Next step is we will find area moment of inertia of area 1 about its own centroidal axis. So how we can find that? We know that for a rectangular area moment of inertia about its own centroidal axis is given by the formula BD cube by 12. where B is that side of rectangle which is parallel to the centroidal axis. So over here that side is 50. So 50 is B and 100 is D. So formula will be 50 into 100 cube by 12. So from here we will get the value of Ig1. Now we know once we get these three values, we can apply parallel axis theorem to find area moment of inertia of area 1 about the main axis, and that is Ix1. So it means formula of Ix1 will be equal to Ig1 plus A1 H1 square. So put these values and we will get value of Ix1. Now we have found value of Ix1. Now we have to find the next value, that is Ix2. So next step is that we should find Ix2. So let us find Ix2. So what is Ix2? Ix2 is the area moment of inertia of area 2 about the main axis, that is x-axis in this case. So what is the first step? First step is that we should find its area, that is A2. So it is a quarter circle, so it means its area will be pi r square by 4. R in this case is given to us as 100 millimeters. So we'll get its value as 7850 mm square. What is the next step? Next step is that we should locate its centroid. This is a quarter circle. So where its centroid will lie? That we have learned when we covered lecture on centroids of regular areas. And in a quarter circle we learned that its centroid lies at 4r by 3 pi from both sides. It means from this side we will measure 4r by 3 pi, and from this side of the quarter circle we will measure 4r by 3 pi. So where those two lines will intersect, that will be the centroid of the quarter circle. So from that centroid we will draw its centroidal axis and we will keep that axis parallel to the main axis. Main axis is horizontal axis, so we have drawn centroidal axis of area 2 as a horizontal axis. Now what is the next step? Next step is find the distance between these two axes. So that will be called as h2. So let us find that distance. It is very simple. You can see that we have assumed this axis as base. So this is the base, and this axis or base is in line with the side of this quarter circle. And we know centroid lies at a distance of 4r by 3 pi from that side. It means h2 is 4r by 3 pi in this case. So put the value of r, we will get h2 as 42.46 millimeters. Now what is the next step? Next step is we have to find area moment of inertia of area 2 about its own centroidal axis. And we know for a quarter circle, area moment of inertia about its own centroidal axis is given by this formula, that is 0.054 r4. So this you should remember. So put the value of radius and we'll get Ig2. Now we know once we get these three values, we can apply parallel axis theorem to find area moment of inertia of area 2 about x-axis, that is Ix2. So formula will become Ix2 is equal to Ig2 plus A2 H2 square. So put the values of Ig2, A2, H2, we will get Ix2. Now we are done with Ix2. Next is we have to find Ix3. So what is Ix3? Ix3 is the area moment of inertia of area 3 about the main axis, that is x-axis in this case. So for Ix3, what is the first step? First step is find its area, that is A3. So it is a rectangular area, so its area will be length into width, that is 100 into 50. So equal to 5000 mm square. Now what is the next step? Next step is find its centroid. So where the centroid of area 3 will lie? It will lie at L by 2 and B by 2 because it is a rectangular area. It means this distance is how much? It is 50 and this distance is 25. Now over here one observation we have to make, that we have considered this as base. So G3 or area 3 is lying below that base. So this distance, which is the distance between the centroidal axis of area 3 and the main axis, that is H3, will be negative. You can consider that as negative but that sign will play no role because we know when we apply parallel axis theorem, we take the square of that value. Okay, so what will be h3 over here? H3 is the distance between the centroidal axis of area 3 and the mean axis. So what is that distance? We know that this edge of rectangle is at 50 millimeters from base, or you can say from x-axis, and we know centroid lies at 50 by 2. This is also 50 by 2. It means distance between these two axes is equal to minus 25. Now what is the next step? Next step is we should find area moment of inertia of area 3 about its centroidal axis. And for rectangular area moment of inertia about its centroidal axis is given by the formula PdQ by 12. Now in this case, the side of the rectangle which is parallel to the x-axis is 100. So 100 is B and 50 is D. So formula will become 100.50 cube by 12. So when you will solve this, you will get value of Ig3. So once you get these three values, apply parallel axis theorem to find Ix3. So that will be equal to Ig3 plus A3 H3 square. So put these values, you will get the value of Ix3. Now we have calculated the value of Ix1, Ix2, Ix3. Put these values in this equation. That means we can get Ix. What is Ix? Ix is the area moment of inertia of this composite area about the x-axis. But remember, we have to find polar moment of inertia about O. It means what will be the next step? Find Iy, that is area moment of inertia of the composite area about y-axis. So how you will find that? So formula for that will be again same, that Iy is equal to Iy1 plus Iy2 plus Iy3. But over here we have to make one very important observation, that this particular figure is symmetric. You can see over here when we have drawn x-axis over here, then we had a rectangle at the top and on the side we had a quarter circle and the rectangular area below that axis. But if you consider this axis as y-axis, then same situation will be there. We will have same rectangular area of same dimension below the axis, and we will have quarter circle above that, and to the side of quarter circle we will have another rectangular area which will be of same size. So it means we can say this particular figure is a symmetric about y-axis. So whatever value we calculated for Ix, that will be equally applicable to Iy also. So we'll say Iy is equal to Ix is equal to this value. So now you can see we got the area moment of inertia of this area about x-axis and y-axis. So now we can easily find polar moment of inertia. So that will be equal to sum of those two moment of inertias. So put the values here, we will get our answer. So this is the answer for area moment of inertia of this composite area about the axis at O, which is perpendicular to the plane of this area, called as polar moment of inertia. So I hope this numerical is clear to you. Thank you very much.